Welcome back to Project 365. I'm Corey with SB Pace. We are going to continue the conversation in the month of April about Business Foundation. Today, the question is, what is an operating agreement? I'm going to go a little step further and also talk about an ownership agreement and the difference between the two. So let's start off with the ownership agreement because that one's pretty simple. It's basically who has claim to your business. And this could be you, 100% owner. This could be you and your partner splitting 50-50. This could be you and your partner splitting, 40-40, and then you've got an investor that's got 20% ownership equity. And all that could mean in that particular instance is that they just get 20% equity of everything that you do. So when it comes to distributions or ownership, or you sell the business, whatever it is, that's all they do. And that, again, by itself, the ownership agreement, all it really determines is what percentage somebody owns of the business. And it can get, you can get cute in there and change. Equity is determined based upon revenues and et cetera, et cetera. Like there's all sorts of things that could go into ownership, but at a base level, it's who owns what percentage of the business, the equity of the business. From there, you get into the operating agreement. So the two are independent, but a lot of times they go together, especially when you have investors and silent partners and all of that. So the operating agreement defines who is in charge of making decisions, who is in charge of running the business, who's in charge of whatever it is. You can get super detailed and in terms of your roles and responsibilities are this and mine are this, et cetera, et cetera. One of the things that you definitely want to look into or think about when you're doing an ownership and in the operating agreement is ensuring that, for instance, investors, silent investors, that if they're in your business just for the money, that's the only thing that they get to talk about is money. So a lot of times there will be something written in there about any financial decision over a certain dollar amount needs to get voted on by all of the owners and things like that. But that's really the only thing that they should have control over is decisions about money, or a say in rather, is decisions about money. From there, if you want to paint the walls red, paint them green, whatever it is, if you're the operating owner, great. And you can have 100% control of operations and own 1% of the business. It's all set out in the combination of the ownership and the operating agreement. And then one little tip that I would also suggest is that if you have a business partner, you have a solid buy-sell agreement in there. So if, let's say you split the business 50-50 with your business partner and your business partner decides that they want to leave and move to Florida and never spend another minute working on the business again, there's really nothing you can do if you don't have that buy-sell agreement in there. Legally, they are still a 50% owner of the company, even if they aren't doing their job. Now, if you have that buy-sell agreement in there, you have the option to essentially buy them out if they aren't performing their jobs. And so that, whatever their role and responsibility is. And so that's why it's important for that, because if they decide that they're going to move to Florida and not spend another minute working on the business, you have the option to buy them out, and it's at fair market value. So you'd have to get the business valued. And then, if it's 50-50, whatever half that is, and they'd probably argue back and whatever. But if you can prove that they aren't doing their job and you have that in the buy sell, you can get them out of the agreement, out of the business, which is ultimately what you would want to do, because you don't want to give away half your business to somebody that's doing nothing. But when it comes to ownership agreements, operating agreements, all of that, don't take my word for it. Talk to a lawyer, because I am not a lawyer. I just know from experience. I can give you some tips and tricks, but I am definitely not a licensed professional. So go talk to a lawyer if you have any questions or you need an actual operating agreement or ownership agreement drawn up. Definitely talk to a lawyer. Do not pull that type of stuff off the internet, off one of those pay sites. You want to get a professional to do that for you. So that's it.